and it's going to be just basically an AI, and it's basically just a bunch of animations here. Since this is a tutorial, I used interval triggers, I mean, object position events, curve data sources, object info data sources, and another curve data source to, you know, occasionally bring it up and down if I want to. So if I change the value here to 1, it's going to go up and down. Now if we change the values to 8 and decrease the speed here, it'll be always following the desired position, but I changed the height values. So since we always want to be coordinating to the floor, probably want to do a -2 value. Changing the speed between the different values is a very it's very good. So this is the value that's going to go back and forth. We can change the speed. Or I could change the speed to go very slowly. You know what I'm saying? We could also change the cone to its desired position by swaying it back and forth as it's moving. But we have to tie that to another joint, which it's like almost like a swinging motion while it's following the desired position with various different tweaks. Now this is a very amateurish, well, not really amateurish, but it's like this is like the beginning stage of AI development. This is like a simple AI, right? Obviously the more advanced AIs are going to have triggers and signals and looks and controls to create a better brain AI, obviously, and a lot of data sources, and you know what I'm saying, a bunch of math. Since this is the code of trials, we're going to create code elements with math and value targets to create the component setup to create more advanced animations setups, right? So this is just an AI setup, just admiring it there. Now ignore this ring. This was just you know, I used that as like a ruler, you know, to trace your marks in a way, but I used a 360-degree rotation ruler. Now this is just going to be another AI, which is a hidden mechanism, and all it's doing it's just creating an infinite loop AI system. So if you want to create like a bird flapping its wings in a circle, you could do it like that, but it requires a lot of tweaking to get it just right. Okay? And Trials doesn't have great animation parameters to really edit, so don't expect it to be top-notch. You know what I'm saying? It's a level editor. Just to give you that perspective here, that you can do a lot of stuff in Trials animation-wise, right? And very complicated animations. But the more complicated you get, it's not going to be correct. There's obviously a lot of animation parameters that are missing, right? And it can get better over time, right? This is just the beginning development stage of animations, right? creating better interface animations that can work better in the future with AIs. AI is a new thing in trials, and it's kind of hard not to create one with a lot of input lag, right? So this is just an AI that spins 360 degrees in a circle. Its rotation is coordinated with the same rotation as that. So it looks like the AI has a mind of its own, and it's actually rotating in a circle on an infinite loop. But it's not. It's a hidden mechanism that's actually doing that. And all I did was use vector info data source. It's a following animation, so it's borrowing the coordinates of that object. And since it's a glue object, it's an orbital animation. Orbital meaning that there's an invisible dotted line that's always following in a 360 degree rotation. So it's always gonna have that rotational flow when you're doing an animation like this. So it could be going around and also dropping bombs. You could have something dropping bombs, creating an animation like that. A trigger mechanism for a space shooter or something, right? Very great. Now this is another it's the same thing, all right? All I did, it was just copy paste. It's the same thing over and over and over again. Yeah, I could have 1,000,000 of these, and it's the exact same equation. Remember, Trials is powerful enough to create your own solar system, so I did my own solar system. And it's the same thing I just did. All I did was have follow animations, follow a bunch of joints. So there's probably a good 37 to 40 joints here. And basically what it is it's our solar system in a wacky way, obviously. We have Earth is the blue one. We have a moon that spins 360 degrees around our desired position. And while these are spinning, you could also have the Earth and the moon while spinning too, but it wouldn't make any sense too because they don't have an exact mass. So you wouldn't notice the rotation, right? And it has to have a different texture applied to it, but you can't apply textures in this editor anyway. And Mars is going to have a different type of rotation. And then this is supposed to be Saturn with its rings spinning out of control. It's not really in sync because the joints are not really in sync, so it requires a lot of tweaking. And there's only 2 moons spinning in opposite 360 degree rotations with coordinating the same pattern here. So our solar system kind of works in the same way, but no, it's not really, unless the cellular protons are being animated by its own cell. So a cellular organism that's in the center of our core is programming the rotational components around the sun. So inside the sun there would be, no, it doesn't work like that. It's all physics based. So real life is all physics based, right? Obviously it's a gravitational force that is pushing towards the sun. It's also pulling. So since it's pushing and pulling towards the sun, it's going to be constant in a rotational 360 degree magnetic circle that's infinite and never ends. Or it could be a little spiral formation. It means that it could take 1 billion years before we actually get to the sun, or however way space solitary was programmed, or however way you believe how it was. So from a scientific, natural standpoint of view, that's just the unique way our solar system works. We're based on physics. So to do physics in a game, what you gotta do is you probably would have to create a force that pushes inwards and outwards and create a 360 degree loop and maintain that position. Now it might not be perfect, it might be going off scale or in scale, but it'll have the same rotation. So in video games, I just have a program right here that does it for me. All I have to do is change the values and create joints. right? Obviously I was lazy here. I could have made just a whole straight line, but I used like different lines, combined the lines together and made a huge straight line. And I just told it to say 360-degree rotation. It's just pretty much the best way to make it animations in Trials Fusion. Alright? So if you want to make nice ninja creations or nice map designs or even skill games, try to combine gravitational forces, which are in the editor, which are called positional force fields, right? And combine those with animations to see what type of scientific experiment you can create, right? Obviously, it's going to be like a little demo reel within the Trials editor, right? So this is just a tutorial on how to do it, right? I'll probably have to go in depth just to show you here. All I used is object info data sources, object position event. Make sure your local's off when you are doing following animations, or else you'll have a completely different scenario. Make sure it's set to the maximum lower tick. You can also use a variable data source to lower that number from 16 ticks down to 0.01. And just simple animations, right? There's an example here. This is a simple animation, right? You obviously remove the car, and then you can save this as an animation tutorial. So what it's doing here is exactly correct. This is how you make an animation in Trials. And this is its default position. It makes it easier. It's like more tweaking, right? Different parameters and different... So that is how you make an animation loop. A simple animation loop. Alright, I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully this tutorial was useful. The type of ideas you could actually make in Trials. And tell me how you thought it was. Tell me if I went too fast. This ideal tutorial is usually for experienced Trials animators. So for people that know how to do OPEs and all this other stuff, this was easy, you know what I'm saying? But this is just another way to do animations, and I'm Saint the Legend. I'm out.